Golden gray, golden beaming, stretched across the latticed ceiling, a spectrum of spirits slowly gathered, poetry pizza between the chatter. Wow, poetry! The crisp white of the papers, the ink of printed words, laying on the table testing academic worth. You cannot help but waver for what this all entails. You're on your best behavior, trying not to flop and fail. You've studied hard, you'd like to think. You may or may not need a shrink. Despite the stress, if you work hard, then surely, you'll go far. Floccinaucinihilipilification, a jocular term from the English nation. It means the action or habit of estimating something as worthless, though depending on the person, it may leave them mirthless. Is it unneeded verbosity? A linguistic atrocity? An objective anomaly, subjectively, but I find it funny how the world can be so needlessly complex in so many ways, like the spellings of words or the passing of days, toiling away at the lives we've been wrought, a cosmic joke, the punchline unthought, on a stone soaring through space, left unfettered, to construct our own meaning, letter by letter, into words like Floccinaucinihilipilification, a fleeting frustration, a freeing fixation, a fritter of meaning in life's fluctuation. And how comedic that in colloquial use, Floccinaucinihilipilification is itself a subject of its own abuse. It doesn't express as grand an emotion like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's not as inherently absurd as hippopotamonstrosesquippedaliophobia. And it's not a novel name like, pardon my Maori, Tau motherfuckatungi hungakawawa otamatea turi puka kawapiki kmaunga horo nuku pukai fenuaka tanatahu. But still, all the same, there's room in this game for us to laugh and cry, rage and sigh, marvel and die at these silly semantic structures of our species. And so it's unfair to underestimate, or in other words, Floccinaucinihilipilificate, the power of impractically long communications. Even if it's laughingstock, it begs ovations for the fumbling phrase of Floccinaucinihilipilification. Set it on simmer, a saucepan of feelings, low on the stovetop, never higher than medium. Nothing fancy, nothing grand, a simple concoction, far from bland. I don't stutter around you. Butterflies don't flutter in my stomach. I don't fall over at the sight of you, but still, feelings frolic. I don't think about you constantly, but it's often enough. A simmer in the background, like the warm touch of fluff. Sometimes the simplest things can throw me off center. Sometimes the simmer stops, but then I remember. The similarities we share, a possibly misinterpreted stare. Your adorably tousled hair, your cute stature, so unfair. Little touches, little moments added into the pot, thinking and overthinking until my brain rots. It's kind of pathetic, I often conclude. The cheesy fantasies my mind concocts make me feel stewed in this constant simmer, the slowest of burns. When will it end? When will things turn? Set it on simmer, a saucepan of feelings. Low on the stovetop, never higher than medium. Nothing fancy, nothing grand. A simple concoction, far from bland. A weekend in October, and the campus is barren. I step inside the theater lobby on a cold Sunday morning. It's empty, save for 2 students on the sides. Plenty of room to study, or hide. 3 of us in this canopsic space, alone together in a typically bustling place. Until one of them leaves, and then there are 2. My body tires from insufficient care, so I stop at the soft chairs underneath the stairs, a cozy umbrage under a low stone ceiling, perfect for peace, or to slam your head and go keeling. I sit and settle into a slight slumber, while the sounds of the building form a subdued timbre, until a breath above me, and then there were 3. I jolt awake, frozen and waiting. 1,000-yard stare, an uneased anticipating. The vending machine across hums like lead, as a susurrus snore suspires over my head. A steady pulse of inhales and exhales, breathing into my ears, left to quail. There were still 3. I stand with swiftness and stare over the stair railings. No one is there. Is my sight failing? I glance around the corner at the room's other occupant. Just someone studying silently, nothing consequent. Yet still the Sunday snores suspire sky-fallen above me. From the stairs' stone underside. Is it snared? Is it free? I flee the lobby, and then there were 2. Later that day, I revisit the chairs under the lobby stairs alone, and I find, among the silent stone, there was only 1. Why did you do it? What did you gain? What were you thinking when you inflicted such pain? Are you who I think you are? Are you the same as the friend I made years ago, through thick, thin, in twain? Does my perception of you match reality? Were you using your brain? Was I too content with my fabrication of a true friend I could claim? Did you grow as a person, or were you insane? Was I right to be proud of you? Is it worth all the same? Was I too harsh when you're still young and inane? Or was it more than you deserved for consequences untamed? Most of all I consider, through moments mundane, when will these musings end at the thought of your name? When I'm at a clothing store in any moment of time, I dread the fact that I'm so inclined to side-eyeing the aisle of Calvin Klein's. Why, oh why must they look so fine? Near-naked models, lightning in a bottle, bulging out to leave my mind in a throttle. Don't look too long, just walk along, and save it for a sad night Googling frenzy. I keep a collection of canned crushes, woefully given rather than obtained. Its tangy flavors leave me helpless, subject to the rules of its game, of feelings and fruity fantasies floating fleetingly free, but trapped within the confines of my inward personality, bursting, but not at the seams, as a dissonant distraction, a consonant abstraction, a supplementary subtraction of my self-esteem, contained in categorized cabinets of collected canned crushes, catching feelings, or rather, catching flies, concealed so deep you'd never know, as day after day I pass you by. Ice unbroken, I stare skyward as a stranger. Ice broken, I send a subtle cold shoulder, indistinguishable from my usual countenance, counting the days till I'm free from this sustenance. I don't wish to be creepy or callous. I sit and sip my crush away, alone in my mind palace, captive from afar, compressing the fuss, a careful canned front concealing my canned crush. Yet it still bubbles within, chemicals compounding, a cloying concoction I find confounding. I want it. I don't want it. I can handle it. I can't. I canned it, the can of my candid crush, coping elsewhere, crushing the rush. Why must we be such slaves to the whims of our biology? Why can't we go beyond, transcend the needs of our heart, mind, and body? But thinking past the fizzy fuzziness contained in a cold metal can, with all its faults and fees, it remains to me a symbol of life's ubiquities, of occasional pleasures betwixt the pain, so much to lose, but so much to gain. In compartments collected, concealed, compressed, confuddled and candid, caressed in duress, confessed and suppressed, and all of the rest, caught like the best of a crippling pest, the chronic confinement of canned crushes kept. On fevered asphalt and frozen concrete, many a people have tread. Spidering lines creep by our feet, but there's deadlines to meet, so we fixate, frazzled, ahead. In idle moments you wonder, concentration asunder, headed home one day. Who are the eyes that blink and slink upon cracks in the walkway? Fall's decay of leaves and crisp golden breeze always to me felt like fresh beginnings. New sights, new music, fresh faces, new and old. A friend in the works I hoped to meet anew. But it's radio silence as the year gets going. The birds sing freely, new smiles unknowing. The news comes one day, alone before class, and I am left staring at the screen, sitting with sudden vacance, standing into space, stepping upstairs. It's a Tuesday in September, 9 a.m. in the morning. 6 months ago, I tutored, curious, young, brimming with possibility. 5 months ago came exciting news, your acceptance, and the possibilities they bloomed. 4 weeks ago, our last ever words exchanged through text, lingering in my DMs like an obituary. "See you on Tuesday," I said. You replied, "See you there then," but I never did. Fresh new sights you'll never get to see. Fresh new music you'll never get to play. Fresh friendly faces you'll never get to meet. A fresh eager mind I'll never get to know better, and one others here never knew at all. Fall is still the season of fresh beginnings. I am young, and people grow old. Maybe some never will. This falling feeling is only the start. Whoops, it happened again. Daydreams wandering toward a friend. Infecting idle moments in waking hours, while 4 a.m. fantasies get much dour. Is this love, or misplaced affection? Am I just starved for platonic attention? But until this stops, I'll keep on keeping on. Quiet dreams, dying to move on. What if I confessed for once? Poured out all my unhinged thoughts. I'm talking really unhinged, deeper than the unhinged you already know of me. Terrifying thoughts and icky feelings. The terror of knowing deeply. The terror of being known. No, if nothing else, maybe just something like, I would date you if I thought you were in a dateable mindset. Or attainable at all. Or if you had the time. Or if I had the time. Or if it wouldn't ruin what we have already. Or would I? As I get more dated, I've never really dated. It's all just been quiet dreams, dying to move on. When will I start to notice the petty grievances and deal-breaking flaws about you, real enough to ruin the unreality? What if I've already noticed, and it isn't enough as it goes on, doesn't stop, drags on for a year or 10? I could handle it. Probably. Maybe. I kind of already have. Who will be my next misplaced target of delirious dwams? My next rebound crush? I haven't a clue. I never do. You didn't come out of nowhere, but I certainly never expected my attentions upon you. When will I look back on this and scoff? Could that day come sooner? I think it already has. Heh, that's a nice thought. And until this ends, or I turn this into a song, it's just quiet dreams, dying to move on. The crescent moon, a painted smudge upon the sky. Specks of stars glimmer dimly from on high, surveilling your small self scurry step by step on by, past bus stops of figures encrusted in frost, waiting, frozen in time. Shadows cast in the lamplight aloft, shifting, disfigured in rhyme. A dull pink haze hovers in the heights, the liminal glow of a school's outer lights. A fluttering trash bag wriggles on the ground, or is it a black hooded body writhing in place on the well-trodden ice? Home is here or there, near and far. Take a left down this road, right past that car. A figure in the periphery, or is it a tree? The wind is chilling. You pick up the speed. Through infinite streets suspended in silence. Distance is a construct. Time is a violence. Careful not to slip on a stray patch of ice. as you scurry on home in the still suburban night. I want to hate you, but I can't. I want to love you, but I can't. You've given me so much. What do I have to give back? For every gift to me you present, the more I can't help but resent. You've shaped me into the well-oiled machine I am today. But if it's one malfunction on an off day or off moment, it's threats to put me into place. Like I'm your unruly pet. Like I'm your rowdy child. Like I'm lesser. I want you to make snippy comebacks. I want you to shoot petty comments. I don't want you to take the higher ground and bury me in the lower ground as a result. I want brotherly hugs. I want to know you the same way you know me, maybe better. Or maybe I just want that. I want to cry in front of you. I want to feel truly comfortable around you. I want to be more independent. Maybe I want too many things. I don't want to be ungrateful, but I don't want second parents. I already have two. I don't know what I want, truly. I want to want things, and want to not want things. Maybe I want to not feel this way, caging up a facade in front of you, exchanging shallow comments with you none the wiser, scowling a soundless scream when I'm alone, curling up under a desk too low, tears streaming from bleary eyes, gasping breaths from an overworked body. I want you to just leave, but you've already left. It's how it goes, I suppose. You can't consent to being born, or the headache-inducing complexities that come with it. All we can do is process the hand we're dealt, decide what we want and what we don't want, what's wantable and unwantable, having no idea at the end of the day, really, of the wants we choose and the wants we lose. A world so vast, yet time so limited. Billions of stories told and untold. A human mind could never know it all. And so, here's to all who scream into the void with no one to scream back. To the art meeting no one's eyes or ears save for a lucky few. Here's to the small, the forgotten, the underground, faded away by time, or already faded, lost in corners of website catalogs, or albums or track lists or sketches unshaded. Here's to obscurity, sonder, lightning in a bottle, lightning sprites rarely seen collecting dust in crypts and creeks, and stumbling upon peaks of unknown greatness, long disbanded, to leave a legacy for finding and loving only as a memory. It's a beautiful day. Sunlight streams through budding leaves, and fresh breeze blows through cloistered lungs. But on the concrete in your periphery, you do not see the body on the sidewalk. Tattered and graying, festering fur, flies scatter from passing steps. Nature comes to claim its course, but nature has never come naturally to you. You do not see the body on the sidewalk. A new day, a clouded gloom, a jaunty jog around the block. There again, but as you listen to whispers winding in the wind, you do not see the body on the sidewalk. The calendar creeps by, weeks through your window, black-tinted vans and pills hard to swallow. On the street as you pass by, something gone, as if never there at all. You do not see the body on the sidewalk.